Hello, beautiful, benevolent beings. My name is Danajhadavis. Welcome. So, it's been a bit of some time since I've last uploaded. Your girl has been having her hands in different pots, projects, areas of magic, manifestations, releasing, reflecting, etc. I hope all has been well with you guys. I'm here today because I really just want to talk about the notion of spring cleaning. And in a couple of days, we have a huge shift happening. It is the Spring Equinox. And so, as I'm sure most of you already know, most of you guys are probably hustling and bustling, trying to scrub down your walls and clean out those closets that you've been saying you were gonna do for so long and finally are sitting down to do so. This is the perfect time to be clearing shit out, right? Now, I feel like there's a lot of information on why this is a good time to clear out our closets, for example, clear out our refrigerators, for example, redecorate our homes, even plant new babies, new plants, new fruits, new veggies. But I feel like there's not a lot of talk about the spiritual aspects of the spring and the spring equinox. And I'm actually going to be creating some content very, very soon, just speaking about the spiritual meaning, specifically from a numerology. I am going to be numerological from a numerical standpoint involving numerology. There we go. So that video will be coming soon, where basically I'll be breaking down the numerology of 2021, etc. But for the purpose of this video, I kind of just want to highlight and also just breathe light and breathe air into why we should be actually decluttering more than just our closets this week. We should be decluttering our lives, y'all. Now, I know that is so easier said than done. I still have things that I'm like, have my to-do list for things to declutter, whether it's physical or mental, spiritual, emotional, that I've been sitting on for a minute. I'm human too, we all go through it. But it really, really is important to, during this week and the weeks that will be coming in, for us to be paying attention to our inner worlds. What are the patterns that are coming up that we have been maybe ignoring, that we have been maybe suppressing, that we maybe have been turning a blind eye on, whether they are patterns that are related to our own inner world, way of thinking, conditioning, whether they are related in retrospect to our relationships, etc. I know for me, a pattern that has been coming up so strongly that I know my guides are like, yes, it's time for you to declutter and get rid of, is just not speaking my truth. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. I feel like the collective for so long has been suppressed of having a strong activated throat chakra. And that's a whole nother video, that chakras and what I just said, I'll just leave that gem right there. So yes, I know that is a collective thing, and I know that's something that we all kind of struggle with. But specifically how it relates to me is that I just really, really, really feel like my life is about to open up in a way that I just couldn't have imagined. And so it's gonna take a different type of approach. It's gonna take a different type of me needing to assert myself in different spaces, even pull back when it's time to. The pattern that's been coming up is that I've had the whispers from my ancestors that this moment is coming, and now I'm experiencing moments of tension in my home life, for example, where I have to speak my truth. I can no longer be silent in the face of maybe speaking to my mother about something that's bothering me. I see it coming up in my friendships. I see it coming up really in the way that I relate to our everyday world, our everyday life. I really kind of went into that example because I want to highlight how these patterns, these systems that we've been nurtured in, it's an intricate spider web where it's like, from one aspect, it may look, seem, or feel like, oh, this is really, really easy to deal with. But then it just continues to evolve. The more that you continue to evolve, the more that you will be, in a way, tested, the more that you will be challenged by the universe. And I really just want to remind you guys that challenges are a part of our human experience. And whether you pass a challenge or fail a challenge, I personally don't believe that truthfully matters. What does matter is that you are aware that life is going to be sweet sometimes and life is going to be spicy as hell, okay? Most importantly, it's really, really being kind and gentle with ourselves throughout everything. We're gonna have days where, like, for example, if a pattern that's been coming up is you know that you need to be getting in bed early, there may be a time where you end up breaking daylight, and maybe that breaking daylight comes after like 3-4 days of you getting in bed by 10 and you're feeling really good and energized, and you just have this day where it's like all of a sudden time slips you. Like, don't beat yourself up, don't be upset, don't feel like, oh, my world is ending. The systems that we are creating today in this moment are so that we can flow, okay? Let me say that one more time. The systems that you are currently creating that is setting up your reality is so you can flow. Even if you are that person that your fucking notebook is color coordinated, that is so you can flow. You may not look at it like that. You may be like, huh? What does that really mean? But it is literally taking the 444 and the 222, bridging them together, creating structure, which is important. That's that masculine 444 energy. But it's so that when life comes and life happens, you flow easily. Let me know if y'all are interested in me just breaking down the numerology behind the 222 and the 444. And then I really just want to also highlight the importance of the fact that spring cleaning should not just happen in the spring, y'all. Whether you are spring cleaning your environment, whether you are spring cleaning your home, your closet, whether you are spring cleaning your relationships, this is something that must happen on a daily, at the very least, on a daily basis. It really should happen on a daily, moment by moment, second by second basis. And the reason why I stand strong behind that conviction is because we always have choices, y'all. Going back to the idea of challenges and what we choose to do when we face a challenge, I'm not saying that we need to be these perfect individuals, but I am saying is that we always have choices, and the choice usually boils down to two things. Am I going to respond or am I going to react? It really usually boils down to those two things. And so having sacred time with yourself where you can ask yourself, am I actually receiving what I need? Am I actually listening to my heart's desires? Do I actually even know what I want from this relationship or from this job? Am I just watching life pass me by? I know these are very, very loaded questions. So please take your time and trust your intuition. Trust that wherever you are, that is where you are supposed to be. With that being said, I would just like to close off this video on the note with you marinating on this question this week or next week, over the next couple of days, the spring season. How about that? So I want you guys to marinate on the question: what seeds will I be planting this spring equinox? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Happy spring equinox.